What was your favourite game, Ben?
My favourite game was, and it was one that I didn't play, the Plucky Squire. And I thought I'd written notes, but realised I just sent you a 6-minute voice clip. So you know what I think of it. I've kind of forgotten what I think of it. So you're going to have to interview me about this.
Okay, so who's it by?
I don't want quiz questions. I want
great.
Opinions.
When is it out?
It was Devolver.
It's published by Devolver.
I think we both loved Plucky Squire ever since we saw it. I mean, I remember staying up for the Devolver Digital showcase a couple of years ago. It was like round E3 time, and they showed Plucky Squire and Cult of the Lamb, and I was like, this is worth staying up to 3 a.m. for. This is pretty awesome. These look great.
Are a great publisher.
They are. They're really just fun. They do interesting indie games, but kind of make them stand out properly.
I will say I can't remember the name of the developer, but I believe it's a guy who used to work for Pokemon.
Ooh.
So that's why the design of this game is like the sort of cartoon design is like it is, because he used to work on Pokemon. Yeah,
it is. The developer is All Possible Futures.
Yeah, it's a new developer.
Which is founded by James Turner and Jonathan Bibble. And James Turner, was a designer for Pokemon and directed the art for the game Pokemon Sword and Shield.
There you go.
But yeah, let me just quickly type, because I need to get the name of the person that showed me it, because I was having a great little time. This is embarrassing. It was James Turner who was sat there.
Wow.
Giving me the walkthrough.
Wow. And you didn't know who he was?
No, but I was like, he knew, he spoke so well. When you know someone is like, that person is incredibly knowledgeable and excellent at what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Every word he said was really interesting. And it was just, Plucky Squire, I think we've said before, we're looking forward to that game. We think it looks incredible.
I'm jealous that you've seen it.
It's like 3 times as good as what you might expect.
So give me the basic rundown. What kind of game is it? What does it look like? How does it play?
So you start off as like your Plucky Squire. You are this character in a book, but then you become sentient and aware that you are actually just a person in a book. You're just a character in a book, and you've got your companions with you. And one of the first things that we saw in the demo was one of your companions being like, "Oh, guess I'm a side character. Guess I'm not the main character." And, I thought I'd be a lot cooler. And one of the first things that was shown in this demo, which is, I don't think it's been shown. Well, I asked if it's been shown in a trailer, and he said it had, but so briefly, I don't think anybody had picked up on it. One of the things you can do, one of the puzzles in the game, is that you can remove words from the book and move them around to get through. So for one instance, you need to get past this giant frog. And it goes, "Oh, alas, there was a giant frog in the way." And you can knock it, and the word giant comes away, or huge, I think it was. So then you go and find other words in this book, because it's at this point it's 2D, and you're playing literally in a book,
like top-down adventure.
Yeah, Zelda-esque. In that case, in that part, it is. And then you can find the word. There are 2 words that would fit in there. One of them is tiny, which is the correct one, and the other one was deflated or drained, because it was like the swamp had been drained, or the sink had been drained, and you could put drained in there, and it changes the frog to just like this kind of deflated bouncy castle. You still can't get past it, but they've added that just because
it's funny.
Yeah, because it's funny. And then you change it to tiny, and you can get past. But it's got such great humor. There was one character in it. I can't remember exactly who it was, but they only speaks in rhyme. And yeah, I'm trying to think. Oh, it's annoying because I wish I'd written down all the notes, but I didn't have my notes with me because I was just engrossed by it. But there were just so many different tiny things in that. Like, that game doesn't tend to stick with one style for more than 5 minutes. It'll then just go into something different. So you mentioned, there's a Zelda part pretty much, where you're going in, you're there with your knife, or whether with your sword, attacking things that are coming towards you, and you need to activate switches to go to certain areas. But because it takes place in a book, and literally you are looking at it from the point of reading a book, there are certain areas in these levels that you can pop out of the book. And there's quite a few areas. It's not, I thought it might be very strict, or they might have certain levels or parts of this level where you're entirely in a book, and then there's some parts where you're out of the book. No, like, you can go in and out of this multiple times. So yeah, you can be in your level and you can pop out of that book. You can then go below the book, turn the pages, and then pop back in if you need something from a previous page. It is so clever like that. And yeah, just like there's so many different types of combat. There was a fish grabbing game where you needed to get a
fish grabbing.
You had like a little claw, like your hand that was like a bit like a Lego hand, and like fish. You needed to catch. I think it was 3 fish, and the fish were like flying over, and you needed to click it and grab it in time. There was like a 2D platforming bit where you had to kind of jump on these enemies while kind of making sure you didn't fall off it. One of my favorite bits was you needed a bow for a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
But you didn't have a bow. So you had to go and find one, but you had to get out of the book. You then wandered around. This might be a little bit of a spoiler but I mean, the game has got all these, there's 100.
So hang on, when you say you get out of the book,
you pop yourself out of the book because there are certain kind of, what would we call them? Just like little graphics. Yeah, exactly. Like little portals in the ground.
And is that where it becomes 3D?
Yeah. And then it becomes 3D. You pop out of the book. But then you can also... So obviously you pop out of the book and you think, oh, the book is the only thing that you're going to be 2D in. But no, you can be 2D in other things in this boy's bedroom. And I asked, and there is no... Well, so you can then... There might be a kid's drawing in there that's just like on the side. Or it might be a kid's drawing that the kid's drawn a castle or something and has a picture of it. You can then go into that. So I got my way to like the top of this bedroom or the top of this desk by literally just platforming, jumping around and, in 3D. And then the bow was in a like Magic the Gathering-esque card, but there was this elf woman who had a big bow, really glamorous, kind of Magic the Gathering-esque style, completely different style to a cartoon. Very kind of, like the AI generated, it wasn't, but that kind of art.
Yeah.
But she's in this like, Magic the Gathering-esque card. And then you need to battle her it wasn't in like a Pokemon / D&D-esque match.
Okay.
So you've got a picture of her, but it's like you are there, and then she is there in front of you, like in a typical Pokemon.
Yeah.
Pokemon battle. But like the text along the bottom narrates what is happening, like in a Dungeons and Dragons or TTRPG. So, and there's a lot of talk or battle. It's like fight or talk, which also reminds me of what's it called? The Undertale. Yeah. So there was like quite a lot of Undertale, and you find, well, I think the person playing it, they battled them down to quite low health, and then we spoke, and she's like, "Oh no, you're an enemy of my enemy is my friend, etc." So we were going to help that, but I wish I could remember more of it, and I've asked for B-roll, so hopefully by the time, well, actually, I think this will probably go up today or tomorrow, we're recording this on the Monday, so I don't know if I will have the B-roll ready. I might wait until tomorrow, just in case. But there are just so many different kind of styles, yet they all work together because it's all set in the world of this boy's bedroom. And I asked, like, is there a story with the boy? Like, the boy whose bedroom you're in? And he's like, no. There is, but it's one that you discover. Like, you just discover it by going around. It's not a literal... It's like, it's like I didn't create a human... we didn't put a human being in this... in this thing. You're just running around. I did ask as well how long it would be. And he said 5 to 7 hours.
Perfect.
Which is, yes.
That's a lovely afternoon of play.
He didn't, I don't want to say he said it is 5 to 7 hours, but he's like, we're still working on it.
Yeah.
So they don't know how long, but I think that was their target, or it's, under 10 hours.
Yeah.
Is what I got from it. So a couple of evenings. And he was like, yes. So that, I don't know if that will appeal to people more, the fact that it's quite short like that, but also because it changes. He said he doesn't want it to just, they don't want to create filler for it. So being able to have it like that, you can kind of, I got the impression that they can keep things fresh quite often.
It's concise.
Yeah.
And that's how games should be. I don't need collectathons and
a
load of padding. Like, just give me good ideas, interesting puzzles.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like it is pretty Zelda-esque, but yeah, I love that you can pop out of the 2D world and become outside of the book in a 3D world.
And then you can go into 2D on other things. Like there was a castle that you entered. I think the kid, if I can remember rightly, the kid had created some kind of like cardboard castle, and you went into that cardboard castle, and you could like kind of walk around the walls on the outside, like as in Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was just and it was so beautiful as well. It seemed quite tricky. I did ask about the difficulty. Apparently, there's going to be a story mode and an adventure mode. They were playing in adventure mode, and yeah, the poor girl who was doing it was dying a few times because I think it was. Well, I mean, she was having 3 people watching her.
I mean,
which definitely doesn't help.
Awkward.
But and I'm guessing they haven't kind of fine tuned the difficulty as well.
They will do.
It was just a really exciting game. It's one that I'm dying to play. I think I'd be like, do I want to save this for like over a couple of days and really enjoy it? Or will I be like, no, I can't stop playing this. I need to play this for the entire time until I finish it.
I will play that in one go and just go through it. To be honest, I love that. Excuse me, especially this year when there's like Baldur's Gate and
yes,
and Tears of the Kingdom and all these other games that are like hundreds of hours long, to just enjoy a game for an afternoon and be done with it and be like, that was a great experience. I'm totally fine with that.
And it's got great humor. I love all the characters are voice acted, and yeah, it's just a really cute game. And I'm sure there's gonna be stuff that I've forgotten about that I mentioned in your voice message. Are there any things that you remember?
I don't remember your voice message.
Wow.
I enjoyed listening to it at the time.
Yeah.
And thought, yeah, I'm really jealous that you saw that and I really want to see it myself. But I don't remember what you said. I think you've explained everything.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, even just from the trailers, I am super excited to play that game.
Yeah. And I think the biggest takeaway from me was it's not one mechanic all the way through.
Yeah.
It's not two mechanics. It's not just going into you're either in a book or you're out of it doing platforming. No, it plays on everyone's childhood kind of.
Yeah.
With all the styles.
Like every page of the book is something different.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what they said. That they didn't want, and that's one of their things. And one thing they did say was like, how do we create scale in this? Like because they're kind of consigned to a book.
Mm-hmm.
So how do they make it so that like the book is always going to be the same size? And it's like, we'll just make it smaller. So you turn the page and maybe it's suddenly zoomed out, and therefore you're able to go into a much larger place. So like every turn of the page is a different perspective.
Yeah.
And I just love the fact that because she did that. I don't think they told us they were about to do it, so we were just like, what? Because it was me and a guy, I don't know where they were from, but they were just talking with the developer, and yeah, she was just talking, moving it around, and popped out the book, turned the pages, went back into another one, got what they needed, popped back out, went back, and I'm like, sorry, what just happened then? Like this 2D little Zelda character suddenly just leapt out of a book, turned the actual book itself to go and collect what it needed to do. Yeah, it's fantastic, and you will get your Zelda itch scratched because there was definitely a lot of like
a very big Zelda itch. So.
This will scratch it for the evening or two that you play it.
Great, perfect,
and the music was fantastic as well, of course. So yeah, that was the Plucky Squire, out also next year. It's been delayed, unfortunately.
And that's coming to, isn't it coming to Switch and the consoles?
I think it was coming to all of them, I believe. Yeah.
And PC.
Yeah. Because I asked, and then he read them all out and was like, oh yeah, all of them.
It sounds like it could be next year's Tunic.
Yeah.
Like the big indie game that blows up.
Yeah, although I feel like Tunic might have appeared out of nowhere, whereas this, I think people are...
No. Tunic was a long time coming. Yeah.
Was... I think maybe I just didn't care about it.